Welcome back to another episode of No Shame with Shane, where the takes have no lies, no bias, but most importantly, no shame. I'm your host, Shane Fordham. Now, jumping straight into it, Sixers season is back. Sixers basketball is back. Sixers debut starting the season against the Celtics this week. And I got to say, in this game, the Sixers have the best rookie in the NBA. After watching this Sixers game against the Celtics, the Sixers, no question, have the best rookie in the entire NBA in VJ Edgecombe. 34 points, 34, 7 and 3, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 3-pointers made, 50% from the field. VJ honestly had a perfect game. Like, aside from the 2 free throws that VJ missed to end the game against the Celtics, aside from those 2 missed free throws, if he doesn't miss those free throws, VJ honestly has a perfect game. Perfect game. I mean, there was nothing VJ couldn't do or didn't do in this game against the Celtics. He was strong on defense. He was great in transition in fast breaks. He was moving off the ball. He was still creating off the ball. He made the right passes when he needed to make them, but he was also aggressive on offense, in the lane, finishing around the rim. Spot up 3 looked good. You know, both open and off the dribble. You know, jump shot looked good, both wide open and off the dribble. Like, there was nothing VJ couldn't do against the Celtics in his first game against the Celtics. In his first game as a pro, in his first game in the NBA. And honestly, like, looking at the way VJ responded to that big moment, you know, like the way he responded to on that stage, his first game, I mean, the way he responded under those lights, first game of his rookie rookie season. You know, he's got Maxey on the floor. He's got a healthy Embiid on the floor. You know, he's got a deep team. You know, a deep team this year. A lot of key rotational pieces coming off the bench, both that are starting on the floor. You know, but then he's also on the road in Boston, at the Garden, one of the toughest plays to play, one of the toughest stadiums to play in, toughest environments to play in. The way VJ Edgecombe responded in that moment was huge. Like, VJ Edgecombe, honestly, it's a great sign the fact that VJ Edgecombe had a great game in his first game of his career, but it's not just a positive that VJ Edgecombe had a great game in his first ever game in the NBA. It's the fact that he did it against the Celtics. It's the fact that he did it on the road in Boston at the Garden. It's the fact that he did it with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid on the floor together. Still playing his game, but in the flow of the offense. The fact that VJ Edgecombe did what he did in that moment, with the surrounding circumstances, his career debut in the location with the players he had on the floor. Honestly, it's a sign of just how good of a basketball player VJ Edgecombe is, and how good he could grow to be, how much better he could grow to be, not just throughout the season, but throughout his career. The Sixers have the best rookie in the NBA. Best rookie in the NBA. And honestly, looking at this game, this was honestly the greatest rookie debut of all time. Greatest rookie debut of all time. Most points in an NBA debut since Wilt Chamberlain in 1959. But then it's also the most points in an opening quarter of a debut since LeBron James. Breaking his record. Breaking that first quarter record. VJ scored 14 in the first quarter. LeBron scored 13. This was the greatest rookie debut of all time. And we're talking about Wilt Chamberlain, arguably the greatest center to ever play the game. And LeBron James, obviously, arguably the greatest player to ever play the game. If VJ Edgecombe had a better rookie season debut, or at least on par debut with those two guys, he's honestly on track to have to be the greatest rookie of all time. I know it's week 1, it's early, but the fact that VJ Edgecombe is starting off on this note, the fact that VJ Edgecombe had the greatest rookie debut of all time, he's on track to be the greatest rookie of all time. This is no question the greatest rookie debut of all time. No question. Like, VJ Edgecombe 100% had the greatest rookie debut of all time. If you look at his debut in comparison to Wilt's debut, Wilt Chamberlain, 43 points, 28 rebounds, dominant stat line. But if you're looking at that era of basketball, one, Wilt Chamberlain had no competition. Like, Wilt Chamberlain had no competition. Against that 1959 New York Knicks team, there was almost no player on that roster that was above 6'9". There was only one player on that roster that was 6'11", and was just no competition whatsoever for Wilt Chamberlain. So Wilt Chamberlain didn't have the competition. He didn't have anyone else on his team that was producing like that. It was just Wilt Chamberlain shooting around for 4 quarters against the Knicks in 1959. And like, there's no, like, it's a totally different game now. VJ Edgecombe in his debut, VJ Edgecombe did what he did against more competition, against better defense. He did it where the scale of defense was way more balanced than it was back in 1959. And he did it in the modern era of basketball. That includes a variety of different skill sets, different techniques of scoring, different styles of defending. Just a more complex game. There's no question VJ Edgecombe's rookie debut has way more magnitude than Wilt's back in 1959. If you're looking at those two debuts compared, Wilt Chamberlain played against no competition and had a significant advantage over everyone that was on the floor with him, whereas VJ had tougher competition and scored in a variety of different ways. Like, VJ Edgecombe's debut was way more significant than that of Wilt Chamberlain's, 100%. And honestly, looking at VJ in his debut, I mean, it was honestly shocked because VJ Edgecombe looked different than any other rookie that I think we have seen in the history of the NBA. Like, you see a lot of rookies, especially in their first game, they struggle with decision making. You know, they struggle with their nerves. You know, it's almost like they're too nervous, which is understandable. You know, they struggle sort of in tempo, you know, either setting the pace or maintaining with the current flow of the offense. You know, they sometimes they can struggle to read defenses. VJ Edgecombe really didn't seem like he struggled with any of that. He not only didn't have an issue playing within the flow of the offense, but at certain points it looked like he was setting the pace. It looked like VJ Edgecombe at certain points was creating the pace himself. The way he would get fast breaks started, the way he was able to run the floor, the way he was able to attack a defense at certain moments, but also knew when to pass out of that at the right moments to hit a guy for an open shot. Like, a lot of things that we see rookies normally struggle with, not just in their first season, but in their first game specifically, VJ Edgecombe didn't have those same issues. He didn't have those same issues. Honestly, VJ looked better than any other rookie in the history of the NBA in their rookie debut. No question. Like, if you look at some of the greatest rookie performances of all time, Wilt Chamberlain, 1959, 43 points, 28 rebounds. LeBron James, his rookie year, 25 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. Allen Iverson, 30 points, 6 assists. Like, if you're looking at those specific performances, VJ Edgecombe's debut honestly clears those three performances. He scored more than LeBron, both in the first quarter and overall. He was more efficient than AI from the field. And he played against more competition than Wilt Chamberlain. Like, if you look at VJ Edgecombe's rookie debut compared to those three legends, compared to that of those three legends, VJ Edgecombe's debut was better. It was better in different ways. He was more dominant. He was a more dominant scorer than LeBron. He was a more efficient scorer and just a more efficient scorer than AI, a better defender than AI, obviously. And he did what he did against tougher, stiffer competition than what Wilt Chamberlain had back in the 50s. Like, VJ Edgecombe not only joins elite company in his rookie debut, but he pushes two of those legendary names down the list. He pushes two of those legendary names further down the list. And honestly, three, when you take into account the era of basketball that Wilt Chamberlain was playing in. When you take into account that Wilt Chamberlain was really ahead of his time in professional basketball. So honestly, VJ Edgecombe definitely had the greatest rookie debut of all time. And is honestly on track to be the greatest rookie of all time the way he is already starting this season. Like, you look at VJ Edgecombe. VJ Edgecombe checked all the boxes in his rookie debut. He was a dominant scorer. He was a good facilitator. He was great in transition, both starting fast breaks and executing in fast breaks. He showed the ability to be able to defend, being that someone who could be a key two-way player for this Sixers team. And he showed he has elite athleticism in the NBA. He showed he has elite athleticism already as a rookie in the NBA. Like, there is nothing we did not see from VJ Edgecombe. There's nothing we did not see from VJ Edgecombe in this game. He was clutch. He not only got off to a hot start, but he also finished the game still aggressive. He continued to sustain his dominant play even as the game was ending. When the game was close, towards the end of that fourth quarter, it was really a back and forth game between the Celtics and the Sixers. VJ Edgecombe maintained. VJ Edgecombe was able to do his part and carry his weight alongside Tyrese Maxey, who also went off. There was nothing we didn't see from VJ Edgecombe in his debut. He checked all of the boxes. And honestly, VJ Edgecombe, honestly, right now, he looks like the most complete rookie in the NBA. He looks like the most complete rookie. One, he didn't really look like a rookie at all. VJ Edgecombe in his debut looked like he had been playing in the NBA for 4 or 5 years already. He was poised, he was composed, he was patient. He didn't look overly nervous. He rose to the occasion. He also looked fearless. Like, he didn't look like he was scared of the moment or scared of anyone that was on the floor. He didn't back down against any defenders. He didn't back down to the moment. He played his game of basketball regardless of who was on the court. Like, he didn't just take a automatic backseat to Tyrese Maxey. He didn't take an automatic backseat to Joel Embiid. But he also did it in a way where it didn't necessarily take away from their opportunities, especially Tyrese Maxey. VJ Edgecombe not only looked like a great rookie, he looked like a great overall player in the NBA. He looked like a poised player in the NBA. He didn't look like a stranger to the moment that he was in. He didn't look like a stranger. Like, if you look at VJ Edgecombe, we saw that VJ Edgecombe has the combination of talent and intangibles. He obviously has the talent, being a 6'6" shooting guard, being as athletic as he is, having the explosiveness that he does, having the ability to score, to having the ability to be a 3-level scorer. But he also showed that he has the intangibles in terms of his approach to that game. The aggressiveness he had in that game. The fearlessness he had in that game. The way he was able to rise to the occasion as the game got closer, especially towards the ending of the game. The way he was able to maintain his play in the crunch time of the game. Like VJ Edgecombe in this game against the Celtics, 34 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 5 3-pointers made. Both that were, spot up threes, mid-ranges off the dribble. The way VJ Edgecombe played against the Celtics, he not only showed how talented of a player he is, but also showed that he has the intangibles to be a great player, to be a great asset for the Sixers team. VJ Edgecombe checked off all the boxes. And honestly, like I look at VJ Edgecombe's gameplay, like the way VJ Edgecombe played against the Celtics in his first game, you can tell that this was no fluke. VJ Edgecombe's dominant performance against the Celtics in his rookie debut was no fluke. Like, you can't watch the way VJ Edgecombe played in this game and attribute it to him just being on a hot streak, him getting lucky, him just catching guys at the right moment. Like, it wasn't VJ Edgecombe, like this was no fluke. VJ Edgecombe wasn't just hot. VJ Edgecombe played in a way against the Celtics that looks repeatable. He had no issue getting downhill consistently. He had no issue hitting rhythm threes in the flow of the offense. He was also creating off the ball, the way he was able to create opportunities off ball, not just needing the ball in his hands to be productive in this offense, within the offensive scheme of the Sixers. Like, everything he did, the way he created his shots, the way he executed in those opportunities, VJ Edgecombe's style of play against the Celtics looked very repeatable. And therefore, there's no way we can label it as a fluke performance. It looked like VJ Edgecombe looked like a seasoned performer the way he played against the Celtics. VJ Edgecombe looked like he was no stranger to the moment, no stranger to that stage, the way he played against the Celtics. And honestly, it honestly got me even more excited because looking at Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe together, the Sixers honestly look like they have the best backcourt in the NBA right now. They look like they have the best backcourt in the NBA right now. Tyrese Maxey, we've been talking about VJ Edgecombe, obviously 34 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 3-pointers made, 50% from the field. But Tyrese Maxey was dominant. Tyrese Maxey honestly looked like the best guard in the NBA the way he played. 40 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 3-pointers made out of 9 shots. But then he was also active on defense with 2 steals and 1 block. Like, there was nothing this backcourt tandem could not do against the Celtics. There was nothing that this duo between Maxey and Edgecombe did not look like they were capable of doing against the Celtics. Honestly, looks like the best backcourt in the NBA. Like, if you look at Edgecombe and Maxey together, they honestly look like they could do everything on the floor. They look like they look like dominant scorers. They show that they can both facilitate. They can both defend. They're both freakishly athletic, and they both have that mentality. Tyrese Maxey is not afraid to take those big shots in big moments. He is not afraid to not just take the dagger, but hit the dagger in crunch time. Rising, fully accepting that number one option sort of mantle for this Sixers team in the heat of the moment. VJ Edgecombe, similar mindset. Not shying away from the stage in his first game as a rookie. Not being afraid to take his own shots, when Embiid is on the floor and when Maxey is on the floor. Being aggressive as a two-way player, but also being a complementary piece to Maxey and to the other guns on the court. Not being both a complementary piece, but also not being scared to be the tone setter of the offense as well. Not being scared to drive to the basket against contact. Not being scared to hit a jump shot off the dribble. Like, there was nothing this duo honestly showed that they are capable of doing any and everything on the floor. Honestly, it looks like the best backcourt in the NBA. And honestly, looking at Maxey and Edgecombe together, another reason why they look like the best backcourt in the NBA right now is because their games are honestly complementary to each other. Because they can both do everything, because they can both score, because they can both shoot, because they can both facilitate, because they can both defend, because they can both set the tone on the offense. They're honestly perfect complementary pieces to each other. VJ Edgecombe can run the floor. He can definitely push the lane, force the defense to collapse. But then in doing that, he can pop it out to Tyrese Maxey, who can no question hit a knockdown three. Honestly, one of the best spot up shooters in the NBA right now. But then if you flip it, it can go the other way as well. Tyrese Maxey obviously can run the floor. Is definitely a big enough threat to the defense that can force them to collapse if he charges the lane, where then now he can hit VJ Edgecombe, who can also hit that same spot up three. He proved that in this game against the Celtics. Because both of these guys can do similar things, can do as much as they are capable of on the floor, because of their skill sets. These guys are huge compliments to each other, and their games are like yin and yang. VJ Edgecombe, a slightly better defender than Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey is slightly better scorer than VJ Edgecombe. They're not only the best backcourt in the NBA because of how talented they are, but because of how well their games gel together. And honestly, it makes me super excited to see. They honestly look like the best backcourt duo in the NBA. And honestly, and looking at the way these two guys played, the Sixers is no longer Embiid's team. Joel Embiid is no longer the head honcho on this Sixers team. Even though he is a multi-time scoring leader, even though he is an MVP, even though he is one of the best overall big men to ever play the game of basketball, one of the most dominant centers to ever play the game of basketball, one of the most talented centers to ever play the game of basketball, the Sixers is no longer Embiid's team. And that's mainly because of his health issues. Because of his health issues, the dynamic of this team is now shifted. This team now belongs to Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, and Jared McCain. The Sixers is no longer Joel Embiid's team because of how dynamic really this trio has shown capable of being. And honestly, that's for good reason, because if Joel Embiid, if the Sixers is to continue being Embiid's team, then it'll be a long time before the Sixers get to a finals. If the Sixers is to continue being Embiid's team, then the Sixers won't win a championship, let alone get to a championship, until Joel Embiid retires or somehow gets traded. The dynamic of this team, this Sixers offense, this Sixers team really needs to revolve around Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, and Jared McCain moving forward, as opposed to Embiid. Because the Sixers cannot rely on Embiid to win in the postseason. Joel Embiid is used to putting a lot of strain on his body during the regular season, putting up dominant numbers during the regular season, to the point where now he is worn down and beat up in the playoffs. Sometimes if he even makes it to the postseason. The Sixers can't rely on Joel Embiid to win in the postseason because he is hardly ever around. The Sixers now have to revolve around Tyrese Maxey specifically, but also VJ Edgecombe and Jared McCain with how dominant Jared McCain showed to be in his rookie year before he got hurt. And just from the huge ceiling and potential that VJ Edgecombe showed to have in his debut. And a Sixers team that now has a new core, a new sort of focus at the center of its production, with now Joel Embiid sort of taking a backseat and being more of a key role player, a just another key piece on this team. This Sixers team has even more potential than what it did before. The Sixers have to now, like Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, and Jared McCain have to now be the focus for this Sixers team as opposed to Joel Embiid. If the Sixers want to be a championship team, that's what has to happen. Tyrese Maxey right now looks like a top 3 point guard in the NBA. VJ Edgecombe looks like the best rookie in the NBA. Jared McCain looked like the best rookie in the NBA last year, a guy who definitely would have won Rookie of the Year. That's who this Sixers team has to revolve around now. That trio with Tyrese Maxey at the helm, with Tyrese Maxey as the true number one, has to be the focus of this Sixers team moving forward, as opposed to putting all of our eggs in Joel Embiid's basket in order for the Sixers to be a championship team. So I'm super excited to see what the Sixers team is able to do this season, with this backcourt duo in Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, with a Jared McCain once he gets back healthy and on the floor. Excited to see how those three gel together, but also excited to see how this team does with a Joel Embiid, a Joel Embiid with a reduced role in this offense, which might actually preserve him for the playoffs. I'm honestly excited to see how all of these pieces come together throughout the season. And honestly, in looking at that, the Sixers could definitely win the East this year. The way they looked against the Celtics, at least getting off to the start that they did against the Celtics, if that dynamic is able to shift away from Joel, where we're not relying on Joel Embiid to drop 35 to 40 points a game, there's no question the Sixers could definitely win the East this year. But I'm excited to see how it shakes out this year. And we'll be covering almost every game here on No Shame with Shane. It's honestly, it's a good time to be a Philly sports fan. Got Eagles ball to talk about, got Sixers ball to talk about for the almost next 6 to 8 months. And we're going to be covering it all here on No Shame with Shane. But that's all for today's edition of No Shame with Shane. If you haven't already, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. And you know me, I'll be back later on with more shameless takes.